Hey guys, welcome back. Today on The Untidy Artist, we are making a Valentine pinecone flower wreath. It's red and pink and white and there's glitter and it's so pretty. I recently did a tutorial for a pinecone flower wreath where I teach you how to make pinecone flowers. So if you missed that, you'll want to check that out because in that tutorial, I teach you how to cut the pinecones into flowers and I go into more detail with all of that. So you want to check that out. There will be a link below. Let's grab some supplies and get started. So obviously we'll need some pinecone flowers and I've already cut all of my pinecones into flowers. You'll want to check out that pinecone flower wreath tutorial because in that I give you tips on how to cut them, the best tools to use, and I go into a lot more detail about how to create these gorgeous little flowers out of pinecones. I will put the number of pinecones I used for this tutorial below in the description, as well as links to where I purchased everything and everything you'll need to make this gorgeous wreath. I have some spray paint to color my pinecone flowers. I've got a gorgeous pink and a red, and they're both glossy. And then I really like using white flat paint. So I have the white in flat. You could also use acrylic paint if you wanted to. I just think this is faster and easier. I have some burlap that I'll be wrapping around my base. I have this gigantic container of glitter that I recently got that makes me so happy, and I'll probably have enough glitter until the end of time. I've got some Mod Podge and a little brush to apply the Mod Podge, and a bunch of glue sticks and my trusty glue gun, and then I have my wreath base. So this is a heart wreath base I found on Amazon. I'll put a link below. I've also seen them at my local craft store, so that might be a good option as well. And then I have a big needle and some jute cord so we can put a hook on the back of our wreath, and let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut my burlap in half. It's 5 inches wide, and so now my strips are 2.5 inches, which is a lot more manageable. And then I've measured out 4 yards and rolled it back up so it's easier to attach to my wreath base. And then I'm going to grab my base, grab my glue gun, add a dab of glue, and I'm going to wrap that burlap around my wreath base, not super tight, just evenly go around, and you're actually going to end up going around it twice to give you a really nice base to put your pinecone flowers on. So every once in a while I'll add another tiny dab of glue to just hold that in place. And then we're going to set that aside and we're going to spray paint our flowers. So I used 6 of each color for this wreath. My flowers were fairly large, so it does depend on how big your pinecone flowers are. I would definitely spray paint a few extra so you have some to kind of move around. And then I take my little stickers and put them over the middles because I don't want the middles to be covered up. And I took them outside to my garage and I spray painted them with 2 coats. So I like using the sticker, or you could even cut out a little piece of paper right in the center to cover that center up. I go into more detail about that in my pinecone flower wreath tutorial, which once again is linked below. So we have our red flowers and our pink flowers, and they're nice and glossy and shiny. And then I have my white flowers that I spray painted with the matte white. And I really just like the contrast between the glossy and the matte. And then to add a little bit more dazzle to these, I take my Mod Podge and my little foam brush. I'm adding just a little bit of glue, and this is a matte glue, so it's going to dry matte, and put a little bit just in the center of my pinecone flower. And I'm going to put some of that gorgeous glitter on, tap it off, and once it dries, it's super iridescent and so pretty. Then I'm going to grab my wreath base and I'm going to start kind of fitting them together. Now in my pinecone wreath tutorial, I go over you kind of have to approach this like it's a puzzle. I spend a lot of time fitting them together and moving them around and finding just how to fit them together. So I started on my left side, right at the top, and went down the left side of my heart. And then I'm going to just put into place the right side of the heart, kind of get an idea of where I want them to be, and then I start gluing them down. And I do end up actually kind of moving them around a little bit because as you start gluing them down, some might fit together better than others. So just gluing those in place, fitting them together kind of like a puzzle. And I wanted my wreath to be nice and balanced. So You can see I've got some smaller flowers and some bigger flowers, and I did end up switching a couple out to give me a more balanced wreath. And I've got 6 pinecone flowers for each color. And one tip I give you in the pinecone flower wreath tutorial is that you use a lot of glue, and you'll want to hold down the pinecone while the glue sets to make sure that it sets properly and it's not going to move around. And we have a heart-shaped pinecone flower wreath. I love this for Valentine's Day. Now, if you want to, or if you'll be hanging this outside, you'll want to spray it with a finish. I have a matte finish. I didn't want to use it on this wreath because I've got the matte and the gloss spray paint. But that is something to keep in mind if you're going to put it outside. And then I grab my needle and my jute cord, and I'm going to just loop it through the back of my wreath and create a little loop so I can hang it. And that's it, guys. We're all set. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I love red, white, and pink together. I think it's so cute. I've been having so much fun using these pinecone flowers in different ways. I would love to hear if you guys have tried this or if you've made pinecone flowers, how you use them to decorate. If you enjoyed this tutorial, give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, please post those below. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. That would be awesome. And you can click on that bell icon to see right when I come out with a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate your support. I love seeing your creations and hearing from you. So thank you to all of you that reach out to me. And with that said, we'll see you next time.